I don't know. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
How about now?
There we go. Can you?
All right, cool. Yeah.
All right, great, man. So, like I said, this is primarily a test.
Okay. I mean, it looks good from what I can see. What you got going on, but
Yeah, and then I can even switch over here too.
oh,
So, a
nice.
completely different view.
That's cool.
And it is hot as hell in here. While we've been under construction, it has been hell on earth.
It looks cool though. It looks like it's gonna be really dope when you're done.
Absolutely. So, what I typically do to start off any podcast is ask you to go ahead and introduce yourself, where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm Jordan Royale. I'm originally from Reading, Pennsylvania, and then I lived in Jersey for 8 years, right outside of New York City, and I moved to LA basically during quarantine, like in April. So yeah.
Great. That happens to be perfect timing. I know I saw a lot of other people heading to who was it? Pauly Shore. I think he went and got a condo in Hawaii or something like that
Hmm.
with his I don't know, like an ex-girlfriend or something. They're like,
Oh, jeez.
we're gonna go disappear for a few months. Man, okay, so all right, I switched to the other camera. All right.
Cool.
I'm just playing around. So I wanted to ask you, what was your inspiration getting into music? Was it the situation that you were in? Was it friends and family? Was it a specific artist that kind of inspired you?
That's kind of it's kind of a mixture of those things. Just because I never really had like family support there as far as that goes, and so yeah, I never really had family support. So I really wanted to prove them wrong. Um, and I was listening to a lot of Eminem at the time, and I was really down on my luck. Like I didn't have a car. I was taking the bus to work, and I was like listening to a lot of Eminem, and I was listening to a lot of beats, and I kind of just like I slowly kind of got out of that struggle, and that was just like the beginning of the journey. That's kind of I
Great.
mean,
So
there's so much more there, but
sure.
it's I guess that's
Well,
something I
I
didn't
mean
really tell anybody.
that's the purpose of the podcast, that it's all about, telling those in-depth stories. And I know we're on the Zoom call, so this is kind of, a little bit different than my typical audio podcast, but I wanted to thank you for coming on and letting me test out this new format.
For sure, man.
I have other artists of your caliber, and they've almost insisted that I shoot a Zoom. So on Monday, I had one scheduled, and I was like, well, crap, like I got to put this together. And then we had our time zone mix up. So I had a couple hours to put this together. So hopefully everybody who is watching enjoys this new setup. More to be talked about coming soon. Really not sure how the whole workflow is going to work, but so we talked about your inspiration. We talked about where you're from. Now, obviously, your family wasn't a part of that, but who helped you become successful? Was it a specific producer or videographer or manager, agent? Are those type of people in your life?
I wouldn't really say it's really any of those. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's just literally every little thing has been a small stepping stone, and I think a lot of it comes into the way that I market myself, and I started learning like it's okay to start saying no to certain things, and it's okay to say that doesn't go with my brand, or I don't like how I don't, you know, I don't like how this is, so I don't want to do that. I think there was a part in my career where I felt like I had to say yes to everything, but then I just kind of realized like you know you make the rules. You know, I can make the rules and I can say I want to do this and I can say I don't want to do that, but it's not any particular producer, it's not any particular sound engineer, it's not any particular agent, it's not any particular, you know, manager. I mean, they've all been little building blocks to get to where I'm at now, but I mean, everything that I have is really all built from me, from constant, you know, trial and error and constant mistakes, really. Um, what are some of the things to you that stick out to you that, you know, that makes me seem like a successful
Yeah,
person to you?
I mean, and I think the biggest part of your self confidence is really what I noticed, that as you're just telling me, it kind of makes sense that, you know, there isn't an immediate, I don't even know, like, how would you word it? Like, it's rare for somebody to have done it totally independently, you know, so I definitely can recognize a lot of that. um Now, as far as like your lyric video, because I know I saw that on YouTube, who
Hmm.
produced that?
So that's funny. So I do have management now, but I couldn't tell you the exact name of the guy.
Sure.
But I know that, like, you know, we kind of organized that all together, and they said that I should probably do a lyric video, and then we just kind of you know, we just kind of all got in a little group chat and set it up pretty much. The actual music video, though, I made that all myself. Like, that's all
Really?
from VH. Yeah, I created that myself from all VHS footage as a kid, and like put in stock video, and I
Yeah, I
just really tried
remember
to
that
create that.
that was what we were talking about earlier in our conversation, that uh yeah, that VHS, and I think that's really a wave that I've even looked at. There's a guy named Potato Jet on YouTube
Mhm.
that has been showing different VCR, like red, white, and black, so you can see a little play window, so you can digitize all of those tapes. How did you, what was your process of digitizing all of that footage?
Well, I probably went through about 30 different VHS tapes, and I mean, there was just so much footage, and I just had to really cut it down to like each clip to be that 1 to 3 second thing that I can plug in there, and I just pieced it. I mean, the project files on the thing are just insane. I mean, it's spliced so like so much on everything is on a one to
Yeah.
three bit second basis across the three. It's and then it's just like the timing and everything had to be just right. You know, you don't want to lose anybody's attention or have them click off. So I
What
mean, it was
program
very
did you
time.
use?
I used Sony Vegas to edit, and I had all the VHS footage converted via. So basically, the yellow, white, and red plug,
Yeah.
instead of that going into old
Yellow.
school TV or an HD, that goes into yeah, I don't know what that's called. Is it the RGB? But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, that goes in. Yeah, the red, yellow, and white, and that goes into a converter that then goes in to a USB. And I basically just, you could play and you can start recording and you can stop. And all the rewinding and fast forwarding that I captured is all organic rewinding and fast forwarding. That's captured from me pressing play and fast forward and pause and rewind. And I
Wow.
captured that VHS effect that's not a created, like that's an organic effect of fast forward,
Wow.
rewind, pause that I
That's pretty dope.
captured and put
Wow.
that on. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, and that's really a technique that I think a lot of people are sleeping on, that everybody's got a ton of tapes. I think I even have at home.
I just always wanted to do that, you know,
Yeah,
and then I was able to
absolutely.
finally do it for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, like I literally have like two bookshelves, probably from the floor to the ceiling, probably about 10 foot worth of VHS tapes. I've always thought about making it into a backdrop of sorts,
Hmm.
but obviously I need to go through the tapes themselves as well.
Right,
But
right, and it's time consuming, man,
yeah,
especially when I was trying to constrain that to a 3-minute video. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that was there that was cool that I liked, but I'm like, it just can't, it's just not going to make the cut, you know?
yeah. And for me, since I'm not an artist, I'm more of a behind the scenes, kind of guy. Even if I were to digitize all of that footage and sure, keep it as a keepsake, it's digitized, we've always got it.
Right, right.
But it's not like I have a music video that I'm coming out with that I, need to edit it into something epic. So, if I were to make one, it would probably just be to save that footage, because
Hmm.
I think that's what that potato jet guy was doing, just saving the footage for the sake of saving the footage. Were you saving it for the sake of saving it, or were you producing this for the purpose of producing that video?
So what I kind of did is I kind of did both. So I digitized all of them, put them in a folder for my personal self, and then I put in each clip and took part of that and saved that in a new folder of the center music video. So I have a whole folder of all that digitized for my personal self, and then I have, and then I obviously, created the video. So I have every single thing from those tapes, on
Great,
top of the video. So yeah.
great, great. Now, what would you say are your more short-term goals, like things that you're planning on, or a past release that you just made? And then we can kind of get more into the long-term vision type of conversation.
So short-term goals, I mean, right now I really like this year, like I really want to get that Spotify plaque. I don't know if you know, but even just if you have 1 million streams on a song through Spotify, you're eligible for a Spotify plaque.
Mm.
That's not necessarily like a gold, that's not necessarily, a platinum like record sales plaque, but to me, baby steps, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
get the 1 million Spotify plaque, and I'm gonna feel like a boss. Get that, take the pic really quick, and feel like a hot shot. And then from there, I want to try to actually put in like, because I create numbers from everything I'm doing, whether it be sales wise, whether it be features or royalties or whatever. We're going to take all that data between all the analytical data and all the cash flow payments from this business that I created, this
Yeah,
empire.
sure.
We're gonna Let's take that, bring it to the label, say here's what we got. Boom. It might not be I might not be huge, but I think that it would be a good starting point, and I think it's getting to the point where I'm gonna keep building this, but it's gonna get to a point where within the next couple of years, my hands are gonna be really tied, where I need that 20,000 budget to put into this first song because we already proved, hey, we can make that back. So, I mean, that's still long term, right? I guess that's kind of
Yeah,
short
yeah.
term going
And
into
you
long term. But
recently
in the end of
just
the
made
day,
it out there too, so you've made a pretty big move.
yeah. So that's kind of a short into long term.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Or the past term.
I see it as getting that first, like getting that 1 million, get that song to 1 million, right, on Spotify. Like we got to get one video to 1 million on YouTube. We got to get one video or song to 1 million. Excuse me, one video to 1 million on YouTube, one song to 1 million on Spotify, and then we can just kind of, you know, move throughout the terrain from there. And I don't think it's that far. I don't think I'm that far from it because with this song Sinner that I recently dropped, I mean, I just hit 30,000 on Spotify just today when I checked my stats, and I think I'm going to be closing in on 20,000 on YouTube. So the idea with Sinner was to get 100,000 on YouTube and 100,000 on Spotify, and then when that occurs, okay, we can move on to the next project. But I don't want to move on to another project until that song gets what I feel like it deserves. And I honestly feel like I just reached 100,000. Like I just want everything at 100,000. Like
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
if you've seen on my Instagram, I just reached 100,000 on Instagram. So let's get that song to 100,000 on YouTube. That song to 100,000 on Spotify. And now we can use that same data and we can build the next step. So that next song can go 200, 200, 200. Or, now we're
250.
at five. Right. And then we're at 500,000. And then we get to 1 million. And then we can say, all right, we're obviously doing something right. We're breaking through the noise. We're breaking through the crowd, and you know, it's just steps, and I think I'm not that far from there.
And how many other interviews or podcasts have you experienced?
Well, I've been actually doing quite a few recently. So just I guess just because of quarantine and everything, everybody was doing the podcast
Yeah,
thing, and I actually even started one myself.
there
But
you go.
my partner that I was doing it with, I think we just kind of he was going more towards the video. He's going more towards video recording and like getting a press pass and things like that. And me, I'm more on the music side. So it's just kind of like our as much as we wanted them to work, our paths just kind of split a little bit. But
Sure.
I can definitely appreciate the podcast space, and I wish I had more time to do it. To be honest, I would love to dive into that more. I guess I just don't quite have the time. I wish I did.
Sure. And I think, for me, being somewhat more of a behind the scenes kind of guy, it's a challenge because I'm not an artist. That
Mhm.
although I have been considered an artist because I've been offered an office at Capitol Records, and I even got a call from them through QC, someone that noticed
Quality
me and
control.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Noticed my eye and different things, and they wanted to fly me out. And when the director called me for my plane information, he said, I'm calling for an artist, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm a video production guy. Like, I'm not an artist. Like, what is this guy even talking about? And, then I spoke to the QC guy again. And he's like, no, dude, like, you're a dope artist. Like, you have an amazing eye. Like, that's why I'm interested in you. So that switch kind of had to go off in my head a little bit and not
You're
just
still an
look at
artist in your own way. It just doesn't mean
exactly.
that doesn't mean you create music. You don't have to create music to be an artist.
Exactly. So in the
Right, right.
same way that you're focused on making music, from a business standpoint, the music side of the business, that I'm not the music guy. I'm the behind the scenes guy. I'm the technical guy. I'm the guy with the Cyclorama studio that I'm building. That
Hmm.
I'm trying to help promote other artists, and what's really dope about it is we own the building. So whatever money that I put into the building and into this property, we're getting it out. And just speaking for myself, I can't name any studios, at least locally, that own the building that they're in.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I good for you, man, because I'm still renting. That's for
Well,
sure.
and it's a family type of thing, and that makes this very difficult because although it's a family thing, although it's a little bit cheaper, it has taken up to 2 years to get to this point. That my grandfather had a machine shop in this building, and obviously he had passed away several years ago, and we would rent it out to different companies, but they would never take care of the building. Then they start dropping off payments, and obviously right now business is pretty rough. How has the virus affected your music? How has the virus affected your life in general?
Um, so pretty much it's just kind of been focusing on I've been able to focus on things that aren't working and that are working. So I'm really just trying to separate, kind of streamline the process, and so if anything it's definitely been more harder, I guess would say, sales wise. But in the same token, all the analytic data and all the things realizing that didn't work. Um, there's not as much time where you're sitting there, oh, why isn't this working? It's just kind of like you kind of know why, you kind of know what's working, what doesn't, and you kind of know why instead of sitting there pondering. It's not like I just started out, so I kind of know already, if something didn't work, why it didn't.
Yeah.
But it's obvious. The thing of it is, though, as I'm also an actor, and I worked on 50 Cent's For Life show all last season, and there's nothing. That was one of the reasons I even came to LA. To be honest with you, man, is the acting world, and there's nothing like that going on, at least not right now. And I don't know. I certainly don't know when it's going to reopen. All these companies and things, ones that I work for too, they're like, oh, it's coming back. And they're posting like advertisements on Facebook and stuff. We're coming back, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. Like, I've been in this business too long to know that it's probably going to take another year before you guys actually like really start filming. Like, I used to get like as far as acting gigs wise, I was getting like 100 to 150 emails a day or more. You know how many you get now? Three emails, three
Wow.
emails.
Wow.
So that's taking a hit. That sucks. But I've always kind of just maneuvered between the two. This works, that works, this works, that works. And now it's like, I guess last year when acting was really working for me, I was like, I want to be an actor. And now I'm like, no, it's back to music. That's where I always was. And now I'm making bigger and better moves than I ever have. And I'm just more becoming more business savvy and just becoming smarter, man, really on the daily. So
Yeah, and I want to thank you for coming on. And if anybody's interested in supporting you, all of his links will be down in the description below. So definitely check all that out. And if you haven't, please subscribe. Now, I also like asking, do you have any questions for me? Like, of the content that I sent you, or if you have had an opportunity to check out my page, is there any specific questions that you have for me?
not really. I think the video thing is going to definitely work a little bit better for you, because I just think it's just content wise, it's just it just comes off better. That's why I was like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do the video thing.
Yeah.
So that'd be
And
my
I
only advice to
appreciate it.
you. That'd
To
be my
do
only
more
advice to
video?
you, to do more video. I don't have any questions. I think everything was
Cool,
smooth,
cool.
cool, and I'm just out here supporting Black Lives Matter, and that's why I
Absolutely.
wasn't able to get on the call earlier, buddy.
Well,
So
it's all good. It's all good.
yeah.
So I appreciate everything that you're doing, and I hope that we can talk soon again if you have anything else to talk about.
Um, Not really too much.
Yeah.
People can check me out and they'll find me and
Yeah, where can people
share me and
find
do
you?
whatever they want. Yeah, so it's pretty. I mean, like I said, they could just do a simple Google search Jordan Royale and wherever they want to throw a stream or whatever. I appreciate it. So
Absolutely.
just out here, I always try to help independent artists out on the daily and
No, I
supporting Black
appreciate it.
Lives Matter and I'm just about positivity, and everybody's worth it, man. That's the most that was my last single. Everybody's life is worth it. Everybody's on this planet for a reason. Everybody's life is worth it. So
Dope, dope. Well, I
I
appreciate
appreciate you having me, Anthony. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
And
All right. So
let's talk soon.
I'm gonna end this, and then let's see if everything turns out okay.